How you go say na love, they love their boyfriend.
No, sir, I feel very bad, sir.
Okay, oh, but you know what you have done, whether it's self-kidnapping or conspiracy, kidnapping is kidnapping.
No, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. Like I always say, parenting is key. Parenting is key. I don't see the sin that the mother and the father has committed to train this child to secondary school, and like she has said, she has gained admission into the university, and to be trained by the same parent, but she connect with her boyfriend.
No, they don't get picking. And to all of us who are parents, I don't know what to say, because you may even do everything right, and somehow the society will still influence them and lead them astray. Like you may do everything right, raising your child. But a child that knows that her parents are not rich, went out to conspire with her boyfriend to demand for money that she knew her parents didn't have. So it's an unfortunate thing. So again, I do not know what an advice or what kind of advice I should give to you as a parent. Because like I said, you may do everything right, raise your children right. Then the society, all right, would influence them. But there's always, the sign is always there too. Like I've been told many times, the sign is always there. And when you see them going astray, do not spare the rod, as they say. Because I remember I was very stubborn myself. Like very, very stubborn, but not wayward. I was never wayward. Enough that people used to say that because I was raised by my mom, you would say if a boy is raised by a woman, it's likely not going to end well. But that's not true. I know so many people raised by women and they turned out very good. I am like a very good example myself. Do you get that now? So just the sign will always be there. And when you see it, please do not spare the rod. Scream out. Maybe you can save that child. A child that's self-kidnapped can possibly arrange to kill her parents. I've seen children who organize the killing of their parent because of the properties. Yeah, I've seen that too, So again, you may do everything right, but the society can influence them negatively. And then you just be like a failed parent. It's unfortunate. Okay. It's always like it never finishes. And the time is always never enough for me. I want you to listen to something. This is someone who also speaks out on the failure of Tinubu's regime in his own words. Before I react, watch this.
Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, somebody that is well known to me, and I've known him to be a complete gentleman, a diplomat par excellence, and also one individual that I know is competent. One of the most worthy and outstanding narrative about this interview, based on Nigeria's foreign policy, is that, to me, if you ask me, honestly, I've not been able to get the stronghold of Nigeria's foreign policy as it is today. Agreed, it's in the constitution. Africa is center point of Nigeria's foreign policy, looking at the issues of commitment to African unity, peace, and tranquility, and looking at other multilateral engagements with other nations and what have you. The ministry has been dormant. For a very long time, I've not seen the ambassador or any foreign affairs minister or ministry talking about Nigeria's foreign policy, having engaged robust engagement with Nigerians. They've been on the dormant side. And it's good today that you've been able to pull him out of the cocoon where he is to come and explain to Nigeria some of these fundamental policies. And
were you impressed with his explanations?
Well, he has gone on a long journey of discovery, trying to impress Nigeria or trying to come out to look at the questions dispassionately. I think he has tried, but to a large extent, there are a lot of pitfalls. I saw the question you posed us, but as a diplomat and also a very intelligent person, he has been able to dodge some of the questions. Not going straight to the point, looking at the questions from very, very angle. Look at it this way. The issue of ECOWAS, 3 countries leaving ECOWAS. It has never happened in the history of the West African sub-region. It has never. Mauritania only went once, only it were left. But for these countries to leave 3 countries that are bordering Nigeria, you know that those are constants. Once your neighbor is in trouble, or once your neighbor is also sleeping, you too will not sleep. That is the problem. And Nigeria has not been able to look at the issues dispassionately. Because for the exit of these countries that are sharing common borders with us, it is a serious problem to us. He's talking about Libya training terrorists and what have you, given the arms and ammunition. Through which routes were they coming to Nigeria? Through all these borders. And if for any reason, I know as your neighbor, I'm not comfortable with you, I'll open my border and I'll pretend as if I have not seen anything. So the earlier we try to mend our fences, look at Africa as center point of our foreign policy, the better for us. As it is today, Nigerians will agree that our foreign policy direction is moving towards France. Because
So he did say that we've always had that partnership or relationship with France. So this is not new. You don't agree with him?
No, I don't. This is the only time that I've seen us getting close and closer to France. Never in the history of Nigeria have we seen this romance between Nigeria's government and France. Why have we not been going to America? Why have we not been going to UK, our colonial masters, to have a robust engagement in terms of policy, trust, and what have you?
That's the part I almost forgot when I was playing that two-guard nonsense interview. Is dodging of the main question and then trying to, trying to deflect. Tinubu is a cause, just like a Bukwari is a cause to that contraption. If you ask any Runuku right now, a bad idiot or a bad start, ask them, what is Tinubu's foreign policy? Even the foreign affairs minister cannot tell you what is Tinubu's foreign policy. The foreign policy for Africa, for West Africa, and for the rest of the world, they can't tell you. Because there is none. I mean, you are supposed to have foreign policy, as a government, a policy to say this is how we want to relate with West African countries. This is how we want to relate with the rest of Africa. This is how we want to relate with the rest of the world. This is how we want to relate with China. This is how we want to relate with Russia. This is how we want to relate with America. These are policy statements that should guide the actions of a government. But these ones, they don't have any. None. So the Nigerian place in the world is that of a blindsided kind of approach. It is a place where any belle pays. And as some of you who don't even understand, what is this foreign policy you mean? I don't understand it. For example, you have a problem of insecurity, right? Of terrorism, fueled by religious connotation and the rest of that. So you have to sit down and begin to kind of look at what kind of policy are we going to push on how we are going to relate with our neighbors. And just like I said earlier, that if you are saying that France is more important to you than your neighbors who don't want to have anything to do with you anymore, then you are not supposed to actually be in government. But Nigeria is a place where anything goes. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. It is now anywhere belle pays. And the consequences is all this death that you are seeing. Over 614,000 Nigerians were kidnapped, were killed in 1 year under Tinubu. Papa, I don't think they've killed up to that in Ukraine. No. And Ukraine is at war. 614,000 Nigerians killed in a year. And Nigeria is not at war. 2.23 million Nigerians were kidnapped. 2 million 2,239,000 Nigerians were kidnapped in 1 year. 2.3 trillion naira was paid in ransom to terrorists in Nigeria in 1 year. And nobody is alarmed. You are not alarmed. Maybe now that you are hearing it. Really? Eh? They would kind of come around and say, do you think that number of people will die and people will not know? And all of that stuff, you know, just to make you feel like, don't worry, it's not true. It's an unfortunate situation, honestly speaking. Prince Jejeman.
Hey! Nigeria bagona koko. Na January 2025 we dey. Nigeria army, they don't enter bush. Boko Haram don't arrive, they don't run enter bush. And you still there. They do want Nigeria. Who go guide you? If they come for you, now who go guide you? One day you go just wake up, you go hear say Nigeria don't turn to Afghanistan, Boko Haram. They tell on now referendum, even now they can referendum. You see they depend, they say Tinubu, we go run now, enter France with France people. Leave you there, you're your own. They tell on they hear. Nigeria army now is now the bloody civilian. They are now the bloody civilian. If they see Boko Haram, they run enter bush. They even thank God for their life. People were sign with their life that to die if anything come along. They run enter bush. We they tell on they hear. IPOB they tell on her. Make na live now the cano. Live now the cano. And conduct referendum. The way they be go now, the way where everything they go, we no need for referendum again. Everybody go run on the run. Somalia visa. Now they can't tell on now. Somalia visa. Or they hear what? Nigeria.
Ìgbà kan máa dé àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá ìgbà kan máa dé àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá tólórò máa sáré ọlọ́pàá máa sáré ayé máa sáré ẹyẹ tí ò dúró rere máa sáré àlórà máa sáré hs tí kò mọ kankan máa sáré everybody máa sáré gbogbo wa pátá máa sáré ìgbà yẹn ti dé àsìkò yẹn náà làwà. Ìgbà yẹn ti dé àsìkò yẹn náà làwà everybody máa sáré ọlọ́pàá máa sáré àwọn tó ń ṣòro gan máa sáré olúmọlẹ̀ máa sáré àpènà máa sáré olúwo ìlú gan máa sáré everybody pátápátá máa sáré gbogbo wa máa sáré àwọn ọmọ fantasy base máa sáré àwọn ọmọ tomorrow base máa sáré akíndóyin base máa sáré ayépéjọsọ base máa sáré everybody pátá máa sáré.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say you dey wise.
You say you dey wise. Brethren, I know that a lot of you who are the Ronukus on this platform sometimes think that exposing the lies of these rogues, these compulsive, unrepentant liars and their lies is it's like a negative or evil wish for Nigeria. You see, wishes don't pay bills. Wishes don't run countries. Actions do. Because there's only actions that actually would show whether your action is positive or negative, whether it is progressive or retrogressive. Action is action, right? And your action will determine if you are if you are progressing or you are retrogressing. They lied to you that their refineries are working. Then they back it up with propaganda. The propaganda that their refinery, I've never seen that in my life. refineries are working in Nigeria, but the refineries that is refining crude oil, the refineries are not refining PMS. Port Harcourt refinery, the claim is working, where it doesn't refine PMS. Warri refinery, the claim is working, but it doesn't refine PMS. Now only diesel and kerosene. But the same time they told you that your refineries are working, is the same time these guys imported over, nearly 1 billion liters of petroleum from Malta. Nearly 1 billion, 976 million liters of petroleum from Malta. And this is what they moved to Port Harcourt, loading. The one they are moving to, what do you call it? NFPCL. Last year, they spent, they spent 1.1, not even last year. I'm talking about between October and November. These guys imported petroleum product worth $1.1 billion. Putting pressure on your forex. Money that they told you that the moment Dangote refinery started working, there will be no importation of petroleum anymore. You believed them. They are telling you that the refineries are working, but they are still importing petroleum to Nigeria. They are not even patronizing Dangote. No, they are not. Guess what? The same people that told you that refineries are working, right now, they have, increased the expected forex they are going to spend in the first quarter of 2025. That is between January, February, and March 2025. These guys will receive $1.25 billion to import fuel to Nigeria. So you ask yourself, the guys that are going to get this money, they are, you see that Shebanex, what is it called? This guy that that celebrated his 50th birthday just in December last year, just last month. And then Wale Tinubu of Ohando. So this $1.25 billion will be given to them. They don't have refineries. They don't have anything other than the one they bought in Malta. So why are you still spending forex on importation of fuel to Nigeria? And guess what? The typical Ronokus came up and they said, hey, it is a market force economy. Market force economy. Shouldn't you protect that Dangote that is refining refining crude oil? I did come here to tell you that Matrix Oil, God bless you, Papa. It is Matrix Oil, not Bantex or so. It's Matrix. Ohando, Matrix, and one other. These are the guys, and then the NNPCL. NNPCL alone imported over 400 million liters of petroleum products in between September, October, and November 2024. That Matrix Oil, Matrix Energy or Matrix Oil, they imported, right, in their own, that same period as well, they imported over $250 million worth of petroleum products. And Ohando, of course, Ohando also imported over $300 million of petroleum to Nigeria. Guess who provided the forex? Central Bank of Nigeria and one undisclosed commercial bank. And you are supposed to have a working refineries. Ohando business that was valued at 72 billion naira before May 29, 2023. At the end of, by May 29, 2024, Ohando was already worth over 2 trillion naira in assets. By May 2025, they probably will be crossing over 5 trillion naira. No thanks, or all thanks to Kolu Tinubu, the man that told you that he removed subsidy to save you. So if your refineries are working, the question then is, where are they getting the crude oil from? Because there's no crude oil anymore for any refinery in Nigeria. Do you know that? This is another open secret that some of you Ronukus, you are hoping and wishing that it is actually not true. Dangote, with his refinery, with the deal he signed with Nigeria under Bukwari, Dangote was supposed to be getting 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. But they did not tell him that that same amount of crude oil has been signed off on a debt that they took from the Afrexim Bank. That is why they couldn't give Dangote crude oil. They couldn't. Dangote is not asking them to give him free crude oil. To buy Nigerian crude oil, save cost on production and refine it in Lagos. There is no crude oil to give Dangote. No crude oil to constantly give Dangote. Have you asked yourself now, where are they getting the crude oil they are claiming to be refining in Port Harcourt? You want it to be so true. You want that lie to be so true that a lot of them have become so senseless that they are calling people like us enemies of Nigeria, enemies of progress. While the real enemies, Kiyari, Tifnumbu, Bokwari, and the rest of all these propagandists that are pushing these lies are walking about, laughing at you. How come they couldn't give Dangote crude oil? The crude oil is there in Nigeria. The reason is because Nigeria is not the one extracting our crude oil. The, what do you call them? International oil companies, IOCs, the ones that are really extracting the crude oil. Their deal is to give Nigeria 250,000 barrels of crude oil every day. And Nigeria has already mortgaged that. They've collected a loan from the Afrexim Bank. We don't know what they use the money for. Now, it is the Afrexim Bank that is taking the crude oil, selling the crude oil to whoever they wanted to sell it to. The same Tinubu already took another loan from the same Afrexim Bank, remember? In 2023, September 2023, Tinubu approached Afrexim Bank, took a loan of $3.3 billion that they gave to him twice. First, $2 billion. And by the March or April of 2024, they gave him the balance of $1.3 billion. Guess what they said they used the money for? To defend Nigeria Naira. I'm just reminding you in case if you have forgotten, because they continue to lie and lie until they started believing their own lies. They are believing their own lies. But a lot of you are ignoring facts, hoping what they are saying to you, which are actually lies. You are hoping that they will turn out to be truth. No matter how many times you repeat a lie, it will never be a truth. Never. Tinubu said they should go and give Dangote crude oil. How come they have not been able to? Because there's no crude oil to give Dangote. Now they said, 150,000 barrel crude oil barrel of crude oil every day. Port Harcourt refinery is working. Where is the crude oil? 250,000 barrel of crude oil. Warri refinery is working. Where is the crude oil? How come your refineries are not refining petrol? They are only refining diesel. Oh, anyway, in the other news, so those of you who are watching this broadcast from Nigeria, well, it has now been confirmed that before the end of this month, if it is not already effective, or like if it's already not in effect, right? So before the end of January, your telecommunication tariffs will go up by as much as 40%. So you're going to pay more for text messages. You're going to pay more for phone calls. You're going to pay more for your data. So the outcome of it is that the number of viewers on Mayegun's Diary Political will drop as well, because a lot of you will have to choose between buying food or buying data. So you get, should make a buy food or make a buy MTN data. You are about to. It is just about to go down. Right? Anyway, I wish you what you wish yourselves. Okay? In Ibadan, the lawyers to, hang on, before that, they have a minister for state for education. A woman who was actually telling us that Alimajiri children, they are not out of school children. According to her, Alimajiri is a form of education. And